I'm just one hell of a butler. Greetings, welcome to the Black Butler vlog. I have volumes 2 to 10 here with me of Black Butler by Yana Toboso, and I'm gonna read them all within a week or two. I'm gonna read all of these and just immerse myself in the Phantom Hive manor and Sebastian and Ciel and Grell, my love. So if you don't know what Black Butler is, it is a manga and anime series. It is about a young earl named Ciel who has had a very tragic life, honestly, and he is also the Queen's guard dog, so he kind of polices the underworld in a way. He does kind of like the dirty jobs for the Queen sometimes, and he has a Black Butler by his side named Sebastian, and this butler is actually a demon. So Sebastian and Ciel have entered into a contract with each other where Sebastian will help Ciel get revenge, and once the deal is complete, Sebastian can eat Ciel's soul. That is the bargain they have set up. The ruse that Sebastian has to partake in to be able to live in the human society without raising suspicion is to be Ciel's butler, and he takes that very seriously. He loves the butler aesthetic, and he must do everything perfectly, because what kind of butler would you be if things weren't perfect? So I read the first volume sometime in 2022, I don't remember when. I read it because my friend Max was reading it, or he was rereading it, and he loved it so much, and he was like, you know, please read this, I think you'll love it. And I read the first volume and I didn't love it. I really didn't. It was so cluttered, and I was still pretty new to manga at that time, so I had no idea what was going on. And it was just, people were talking, but it wasn't in like a speech bubble, it was just around the panel, and there were so many people in one panel, and I was getting so confused. I had no idea what was going on, and I was like, I'm so sorry, Max, I don't love this. And like, he understood. He was like, yeah, I shouldn't have got you to like start with Black Butler because it's really complicated to understand. And I have been talking with Kirsty from K-Beth Bookish, and she loves Black Butler, and I was like, okay, maybe I'll give the anime a go. So I watched the anime and I'm obsessed. So I watched the anime. There's 2 seasons. I only watched the first season. Everyone says the second season is awful, so I'm not going to do that. So I watched the first season and then the 3 movies mini-series that come after that. And I've watched all of those at least 3 times now, and I only began watching it in, what, January? So I'm obsessed. And now that I'm so immersed in this world, I want to go back to the manga and read more about it. That's what this vlog is about. I am getting back in touch with my Black Butler loving soul. So, Volume 2. Volume 2 starts the Red Butler arc. I'm trying to get more familiar with noticing arcs. I understand arcs in manga and anime, but I never know when they start and finish. So I'm trying to do that now. I have Googled what the arcs are for Black Butler, and Volume 2 is a part of the Red Butler arc. I would have called it the Jack the Ripper arc, but apparently it's the Red Butler arc, which I do understand because Grell is the Red Butler. And she succeeds and she's great and I love everything about Grell. So yeah, we have CL trying to figure out who is Jack the Ripper. We also get Undertaker. Undertaker is also great. I do like Undertaker. But Grell just has me in a chokehold. Anyways, so we have CL and his little merry team with him. We have Sebastian, we have Lao, who is a Chinese trade manga. He deals a lot in like drugs, I think. And opium den. He has an opium den. He does that kind of stuff. And then we have Madame Red, who is CL's aunt. I love Madame Red. I really wish we got more of her, but we only get this volume. I do love her. She's great. So we have them. They're all investigating the Jack the Ripper case. Oh, we also have Grell Sutcliffe, who is Madame Red's butler. They're all investigating the Jack the Ripper case. And CL has to find out stuff. So he goes to Undertaker, which is one of his contacts from the underworld, goes and sees Undertaker to try and figure out more about the crimes. CL has to go undercover to try and get into a ball that is happening to get closer to one of their suspects. And this is his disguise. So he dresses up as a lovely young lady and it's a fun time. But then yeah, they figure out that the suspect is not who they thought it was. There is lots of CL and Sebastian dancing, which is fun. But then yes, by the end of this, we figure out who is Jack the Ripper. So if you don't want to know spoilers for Black Butler, like turn back now, because I'm gonna be giving spoilers in this, because I just need to talk about it, okay? So we figure out that Grell is Jack the Ripper, but Grell is not just a butler, she's a lovely lady. I've done close-ups of all of these already, but you know, I just got to again. So Grell is a Grim Reaper. Then the other one, Madame Red, is also Jack the Ripper. So those two working together cut up a bunch of women. And oh, Grell is my everything. I know there is some talk in the fandom about whether Grell is a male or a female or non-binary or what have you. My personal opinion on this is I see Grell as a trans woman. She always refers to herself in female pronouns, so that's what I'm going to use for her. And we get a really cool fight between Sebastian, who's a demon, and Grell, who's a Grim Reaper, and like that's very fun. She's a deadly efficient butler. I love Grell. Oh, I love Grell. So yeah, that was kind of all that was happening here. I gave this 5 stars. I loved it. It's so good. It is still a little bit cluttered. It was always really cluttered when the servants at the Phantom Hive Manor were in there. Then I'm also currently reading Volume 3. So I just have the last chapter to go on Volume 3. We are still in the Red Butler arc because this entire thing is just the fight between Grell and Sebastian, and it's great. And you know, we get poor Madame Red, she's gone bye-bye, but we get the cinematic record, which is what Reapers do. When someone is close to death, they use their death scythe to show someone's cinematic record, which is their entire life in like a movie. And then the Reaper decides if they are worthy to live or die or something like that. You know, when we get to see the cinematic record, it's really cool. So we see a lot of the background for Madame Red and why she did what she did. So that's like sad and interesting, and it was cool to get some backstory on Madame Red and CL and their family. But we also got a little of Sebastian. So Sebastian gets cut with Grail's death scythe, and we see a teeny little bit of his cinematic record, which is ever so slightly disturbing because you're like, oh no, what's going on? But with him, you know, you only get really tiny snippets because we can't know too much about Sebastian just yet. We get a little bit of his things, which is really just Grail gets kind of annoyed because she's like, what the hell is this? Who are these idiots? And by idiots, she means all of the servants at the Phantom Hive Manor. So that's funny. But you do get a teeny tiny snippet of CL and Sebastian together-ish. But yes, it's so cool. And you know, Sebastian doing the most. And just, it's just all Grail, and I'm so obsessed with Grail. Like, I love her so much. Yes, and then we get William, who is another Grim Reaper who comes to take Grail away because she's been a naughty girl. But yeah, so I'm partway through volume 3 and I'm having such a great time, and I'm really feeling my like aesthetic lately. So I'm trying to embrace what I want to look like, which is kind of this. It's more black. I love this little vest that I got, and thank you to Max for finding this for me. And like my shirt has skulls on it, or it has skeletons on it that are having a party, and like that's cool, and just all the black aesthetic is very much my vibe. Grail Sutcliffe is my queen. Finished the Indian Butler arc, so volumes 4 and 5, and I gotta say, this isn't my favourite arc. I really love Prince Soma and Agni. They're great characters, and I absolutely love, they've both made friends with like their equal. So Prince Soma and CL are like buddies, and they are very much the grumpy sunshine, but like just friends, and it's so cute. I love how they play off each other. Yes, baby. And then Agni is friends with Sebastian, and oh, I love it. Sebastian was like, oh, friend, I've never had someone call me that before, and I was like, oh, my heart, my poor little heart. I do love them, and they're just like pure sweetness that they bring to this story. It's good, but the plot of the Indian Butler arc isn't particularly interesting. It really is just Sebastian learning how to make a good curry, and then there's a curry festival. That's it. And like, I love a good curry, don't get me wrong, but for an entire arc, it's not that thrilling. Yeah, it really was just about the characters for me in this one. It was so sweet, and then Agni being so nice to the rest of the butlers in the Phantom Hive Manor was so cute, and he was just trying to like lift them up and like support them, and I was like, oh, just, it was so sweet, because I love the servants at the Phantom Hive Manor. They're adorable, and I just love getting to see them get more screen time, kind of. It was really cool. We got like little hints about their backstories, so that was awesome. So, you know, you get a hint that Bard was in the military, because he's like, you know, I've never had a peaceful situation to cook food. I'm used to having to cook food quickly and in really harsh conditions. And then Finny was talking about how he was never allowed outside, but now every day he's allowed outside and it's so much fun. And mey-rin was talking about how she never used to be able to wear skirts or anything really girly, so she's really happy to have her maid's outfit. It was just, you know, getting little hints about what might be the backstory for these servants. That was cool. It was also really, really cool that we also got a bit of what happened to CL. The point of the Indian Butler arc does happen in the anime. Things were a little bit different in the anime because the anime introduced angels, and that's not, or at least it's not in this part of the Black Butler manga. It was kind of interesting to see the difference there play out. It wasn't too significant, but yeah, that was interesting. I am interested to see when will be some content that I don't know from watching the anime, but that might take me a while. But yes, so we got to see a bit of what happened to CL, and so his family were killed, and then we had known that CL had disappeared for a while, and then he came back, and when he came back he had Sebastian with him, and then he's had Sebastian for 2 years by the time the first volume starts. And in volume 4 we got a bit of what happened to CL. I mean, CL's had it rough. I don't know why I like hearing about CL's backstory, but I do. It's a lot of just, yeah, he was taken. So like when his parents were murdered, he was taken and put in a cage and things were done to him. Everything is kind of assumed right now, and I don't know if we get further clarification on what actually happened to CL. He was tortured for sure. He got branded with a mark, and he gets cut a lot and bruised, and so you see all of that, and there's something just really bloody and violent about what's happening to him. Gonna also assume that he was sexually assaulted, because you just kind of get the vibe of, I mean, they're keeping a 10-year-old in a cage and they're talking about how lovely he is. You know, I just want to know all about what was happening with him. And so then, yeah, you got to see him summon Sebastian, and Sebastian comes in wearing heels, and that's great because you never see what Sebastian actually looks like. You just get these tiny little snippets, and that's very interesting. Yeah, so we find out that CL was only missing for a month, which I thought it had been a lot longer when I was watching the anime, but it was just a month. But still, a lot of damage can happen in a month. But yes, so a lot of really cool tidbits that we find out about the characters that we already know and love, so that's really cool. But the plot of the Indian Butler arc, bit of a letdown. I gave volume 4 4 stars. I haven't put volume 5 through core pile yet, but I think it's also going to be a 4-star. So the Indian Butler arc gets a 4-star from me. And now I get to start the Book of Circus. I'm very excited, but I'm also terrified because Book of Circus arc, at least like on the anime, is great. It's so good, so much fun, but oh, it hurts. It hurts so much. Just finished the circus arc, and this was really good. The whole arc I'm gonna give 5 stars. Ooh, it's so messed up. So CL is tasked with discovering what's happening to a bunch of missing children, and the Queen thinks that it is linked to this particular circus. So CL and Sebastian join the circus to help uncover what is going on. It's really just funny because, you know, circus things and CL and Sebastian having to do a bunch of these circus acts, so that's funny. Sebastian just kind of really enjoying not being CL's butler because he has to pretend like he's not. So that was funny because he's just like throwing rocks at CL sometimes, and it's so funny. We have William, another Grim Reaper, who is also investigating the circus. So seeing William and Sebastian play off each other was really interesting. And, you know, we got a little bit more of Grim Reaper backstory, which was cool. It's also like a really sad arc. You know, this is Joker. The reason that the circus is taking kids is to help their father, who is definitely a pedophile. Like, there's no getting around that. He's also like a mass murderer, killing all these children, and he enjoys it way too much, and it's creepy, and he's messed up. The circus troupe are like a found family, and so it's adorable and I love it. They are doing evil things, so, you know, you don't want to love them too much, but they're just these young people who lived a really rough life. So all of them have some kind of impairment that impacted them. So Joker is missing his right hand, his right arm. Beast is missing her left leg. Dagger is missing his right foot, maybe. Doll has some kind of, I don't know if they're burns on her eye, but her eye is just like gone. Jumbo is just, he grew so much. Wendy and Peter, they didn't grow. So they stayed looking like children. So they all have these things about them. And they've come together to be this little family, so it's all very cute. But unfortunately, they kidnap children. They don't know what happens to the children exactly. They know nothing good is happening to them. But it turns out that the doctor that is giving all of our circus troupe their artificial limbs is using the children that the father figure kidnaps and kills. He's using the children's bones ground up to create these new limbs. And once Joker finds out about that, he's like, oh, no, 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 no. And it's very disturbing for him. So CL, he definitely, some stuff happens to him in this arc. So the pedophile guy, he recreates like CL's worst moment in his life when he was in captivity. Things are happening to him in captivity. This guy recreates it as if it's like some grand event, and CL's like having severe trauma reactions to this because obviously it's hard to say if CL goes too far. I mean, he does go too far. So CL definitely goes too far. He's like, burn the whole mansion down, you know, burn it to the ground. I don't want any trace of this, even though there are children still inside the manor. And CL has to live with that he has murdered a bunch of children, basically. His reasoning for it is that there is no way those children could come back from what they had to live through, which is kind of understandable, but he also killed a bunch of kids. So it's a little bit messed up. It's very messed up. The circus arc is really cool. I do love it. It is heartbreaking because CL and Doll, they have this little like friendship thing going on, and I wish that they could have been friends, but everyone in the circus troupe dies. Either by CL's hand or Sebastian's hand or by the Phantom Hive servants. Most of the troupe go to CL's house, try and kidnap him, thinking that he's there when he's not, and then you just get the servants being the biggest, baddest asses, and I love it. I love it so much. I love the servants. They are amazing. I think we get the servants. Yeah, so the servants kicking ass happens in this one. It's really cool. You get to see each of them be the absolute most. Finney is very, very strong, like superhuman strength, because he was experimented on when he was younger, and so you get a bunch of that backstory, and it's like, my dear boy Finney, and just like the love and respect that he has for CL and the Phantom Hive Manor, and just, you know, CL takes care of all of his servants in his own way. And then we have mey-rin, who is like the sharpest shooter you ever did see, and like she's so protective of the manor as well. And then we get Bard, who really likes weapons, and he's such a good military man because he was in the military. He's just like organizing this like defense of the manor, which was really cool, and he got to blow a bunch of stuff up. And it was just, all of them are like, you know, what kind of servants would we be if we couldn't protect this manor? Where is that? Yeah, this. They are very much badasses. So they killed the rest of the troop. The troop had such a tragic life. And then they were just a found family. And yes, they did so many wrong things. But like, I didn't want them all to die. You know, it's a complicated arc, but it's really good. So yes, these are all 5 stars. I did want to try and complete the next arc, which is Phantom Hive Manor Murders, maybe? Yes. So the Phantom Hive Manor Murders are next. But I only have volume 9 and 10 with me. I don't have volume 11, which would complete that arc. So the anime has the Black Butler arc, the Red Butler arc, Indian Butler arc, Circus arc, Phantom Hive Manor Murders arc, and Luxury Liner arc. And I can't say the Japanese name of the show. I really struggle with the TS sound. I was trying to practice it with Max last night and I was getting so tongue-tied. Kuroshitsuji? Maybe? Kuroshitsuji? Kuroshitsuji. There I go, I'm getting tongue-tied again. If I can get to finish Manor Hive Murders arc, you will see it in this video. So we shall see if you will hear my thoughts in this vlog, depending on my library. Come on, library, don't fail me now. Hey. So my library didn't come through. My fault entirely, not my library's fault, because I completely forgot that there's a public holiday. So that means I can't get any of my books, which is fine. Totally fine. I will leave the Black Butler vlog here. So I read Red Butler arc, Indian Butler arc, and the Circus arc. Maybe if I end up doing this again, I will read the next 3 arcs. If that is something you would enjoy, let me know in the comments. I know I will greatly enjoy it. The vlog is now over. I'm living my best life, pretending that I'm Grell. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.